Hello.
Two.
Hello.
Chat. Two. Industry.
Okay, industry tactics.
Tactics.
On the video camera. We're already going. If you just want to test your mic.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! She's close to the mic. It's good. That's
good?
That's yeah.
And
That's
this way or this way?
that way. That way. That was good. Yeah, and maybe just a little bit back. Yeah, that's good. That's great. Let's hear it.
Testing the microphone.
Look at that. Enters Jenny Omnichord. Actually, we entered Jenny Omnichord's bus. What do you call this? The Golden School Bus?
It's just called the Golden Bus.
Ah, the Golden Bus. Yeah, we take the school right out of this.
That's right. Yeah. It's an important detail for insurance purposes.
Oh shit! Of course.
Yeah.
Did I give your name off the get go? We're going to be talking industry tactics with Jenny Omnichord. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know who you are? You're the first Guelphite to enter. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I interviewed Joe Sorbera, but in Toronto.
Right.
But we're in Guelph here. Look where we are. Where are we, Jenny?
We're actually in the parking lot of Diode, which is like a community makerspace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super awesome. It's a giant warehouse full of tools and supplies and stuff, and people can go in like 24 hours a day and build things. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got 3D printers and other fun things.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you know Diode. You've been. They love you over there.
I've dipped around at Diode. Lots of great makers. What's the guy's name that runs Diode again? Apart from Fran Riley, the clock
probably
maker.
Simon.
Yeah.
Who you're thinking of maybe.
Yeah.
And Eva. But
yes.
but it's very collectively run, which is part of what makes it so awesome. It's definitely like a community effort.
Okay, great. Yeah. I'm gonna dick this over here. Welcome to Industry Tactics with Jenny Omnichord. No, it's not a good idea. With Jenny Omnichord. So we're going to talk for about an hour about all things tactics, what you've learned along the way. You are a renowned working musician doing. I think this is. I'm going to go out on a limb here because I haven't done my full audit of the country. We're in a very magical place here. This is a bus where. I'm going to dive right into it, and then we're going to get into the background of what the hell made this happen.
Okay.
How did you come up with this concept? But we're in a magical bus here. We're in a very magical space. How did you do this?
How did I do this?
What is this? What is this? What is this space? What is this?
Okay.
The bus?
The Golden Bus is a 40-foot X-Transit bus that has been converted to. I guess it's been converted to mobile home status.
Okay.
But I use it as a mobile home for music and arts and film. Sort of supposed to be an open concept bus-like open space that can be utilized in different ways depending on what different organizations or people want to do with it. So I personally book concerts that happen in here. That's the main thing that I use it for.
Okay.
So I have a Golden Bus concert series. And then I've done a bit of recording in here, and it's holding the CFRU mobile radio station right now. Mostly as storage, but I'm the mobile radio coordinator, so that's one of my many jobs. And then it's been a film festival venue for the last year and this upcoming year. The Comedy Festival just asked me if I want to be a venue during the Comedy Festival this year.
Is there a comedy festival in Guelph?
There
or
is,
that,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So people doing stand-up in the bus?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they would have in mind.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, that email just came like a week ago, and so I said, yes, absolutely, let me know what you had in mind. So, I mean, it's pretty versatile, despite being small and, shaped one particular way. Once you get in here, you can sort of start to see how many different things could take place, right?
Right. I do, and I do, and I'm itching to and not only perform in the bus, but I really I admire what you do. I think this is a one of a kind thing. And now, I mean, I've just off of what I know seen, mobile libraries, mobile. There are some mobile studios, of course,
Mm-hmm.
But the bus, it's so special. I think you're tapping into. I mean, kids looking at home on the camera here for the little teaser, the little industry tactic teaser. Look at that top. Look at that top that Jenny was wearing. She's embodying the golden. She's a golden humanoid. She's of the golden race.
I do believe in dressing.
Is that
for the
offensive?
thing
Was that a thing back in the past? The
Golden
golden
race?
race?
I
I hope
know.
that's not like a. She's of a wonderful, beautiful kind of human, is what I meant. Like the most
I'm
creative,
not
spacey. You're a space cadet, right?
Yeah, I think of it as like I don't know. I have actually many different genres of gold clothing. As
We're
silly
getting
as
a
that
wind.
sounds, but
We're getting a wind.
do you want to back up a bit?
Let's.
So we probably have the front door breeze.
Okay. We got this beautiful front door breeze that we're okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
So go ahead.
Okay, so I years ago when I wanted to get a golden bus, I mean we'll get into the backstory I would imagine, but I started golding a lot of different projects I was working on to sort of put them all under one heading. So I started Golden Throats Karaoke,
Yes.
just like a twice monthly karaoke series in Guelph, and me and my partner Scott are the hosts, and so
Okay.
I have my sort of Golden Throats Karaoke gold dresses. This is what I call casual gold. So
Casual gold.
Yeah, this is what you would wear on like, a daytime afternoon visit, for a friend, or like a, casual bus interview or something.
Honored.
But then I have like a formal gold.
Regal gold.
Yeah, if I have to be like gold at somebody's wedding, for example.
Oh my God.
I've hosted karaoke at a wedding before, then I have this sort of more formal version of my gold. So I have different types of gold for different. But
This is your color.
But
This is
when
your
I
color.
put it on,
Yeah.
I feel like empowered to be doing the thing. I even have gold overalls that I made for working on the bus. So when I first started doing the bus construction, I realized I didn't actually have any clothing that I wanted to ruin with things like
Gotcha.
doing an undercoating or, scraping paint off of stuff. And so I went to Lens Mill and bought gold fabric and sewed myself gold overalls. And so every day that I put on the gold overalls, I knew I was going to work on the bus, It was like a really I don't know, it's like a symbolic gesture to put on the clothing for the intention of what you're going to do.
I love it. You've done a lot of thinking around this. How many years has this been in the making? When did this concept first spark in your development as a musician and creative humanoid here in the city of Guelph?
Yeah, well, so in terms of having a mobile kind of home art space thing, that's been going around for years. In fact, farther back than I thought. I have a song from about 2002 or 2003 that I realized when I was reviewing the lyrics that I suggested that I was someday going to get a van and turn it into my traveling home and travel around Southern Ontario. And so I was like, obviously even that many years ago had this sort of weird notion, which I didn't even remember. But then I had the idea of having a bus where a whole wall would lift up and you'd have a stage the length of a bus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still theoretically possible.
You're
way
thinking
in the
about it.
future. But the more practical one of just like, but can I just buy a bus and start doing it, was about 3-4 years ago.
This is the ultimate tactic.
What is?
You've been waiting for it, listeners. This is the ultimate tactic. Jenny Omnichord has bought a fucking school bus, and she's
Not a school bus.
it's not
Transit
a
bus.
transit bus, and she is making the art she has always wanted to make in it. She is not only a curator. This is the ultimate dream for many wacky musicians. Have we all sat there cockeyed saying, yes, I'm going to buy a fire truck? I've said that. You've done it. So how did you go about doing that? And now you're very adamant about saying it's not a bus.
It is.
So I get the politics
Yeah.
behind that. But you've done a lot of learning. But you bought a bus.
Well, and to be fair, also I'm a school bus driver, also as one of my many jobs.
You went out and got the license and made it part of your
That was
world.
all part
prior
so,
to
yes, yeah. So the many years ago when I thought
Makes
it might
sense.
be fun to have a bus, one of my first thoughts was like, do I have the capacity to enjoy driving a bus?
Okay. Wow.
So that seemed like one of the first pieces, and it was about the time my son, who's now about to turn 8,
What is his name?
Otis.
Otis.
When Otis was first going to school, so when he was first turning 4.
Yep.
4 years ago, I guess. He was going to be in school for the first time, full time, all day, every day.
Okay.
So for the first time, I was going to have to be in one town all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so that's when I became a school bus driver.
Wow.
So I figured if I become a school bus driver, I get the right license, I can be trained on a bus this size, have, that under my belt, so that by the time I am in a position to get my own bus, that won't be part of the equation, right?
Wow, what a vision. And I love how you bring them to life. We're going to talk about that. Let's play one of your songs now, though. The song about buses, the song that kind of sparked this dream. From when was it? Could we do that?
Which bus song are you
the one that you were referring to? You referred earlier to a song about.
Okay, I'll have to get your recording of it.
If you can.
Yeah, it's called On the Road.
Is it easy enough to get?
No, it is. It totally is. Yeah, it's
Here
just
it comes
an old
now.
home recording, but.
Okay, Jenny Omnichord, On the Road.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're watching this on the VR teaser, what we're gonna do is dick in the piece now, and here it comes now. And now, presumably, this would be after that in the podcast. Okay, so just close your eyes, and here it comes now.
I have so many bus songs, by the way. That's part of why I was confused there for a second.
Beautiful bus song that was On the Road. Thank you. And that kind of sparked the dream here for what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, it was a funny one where, I didn't even realize it till I pulled that song out. I was just like, I haven't played that song in a million years. And I was singing it and realized how hilarious it was that I had sort of predicted my future back then. But I used to travel by bus a lot, too, between Guelph and London. I was dating my partner Andy, and he lived in London.
Mm-hmm.
I was back and forth between Guelph and London all the time. I wasn't a driver at all back then, and so bus travel has been a really huge part of my adult life. Lots of traveling for playing shows and things like that as well. And
let's get into how you became you. Well, when did you were you born and raised here in Guelph?
Yes. Well, sorry, no, I was born in Kingston, Ontario, but
Mm-hmm.
I moved here when I was about 3.
Okay.
With my dad and my mom.
Your dad's name is?
Ray Mitchell.
Ray
owner of
Mitchell.
Disarray Antiques.
Yeah, it was just
notable
across.
Guelph character.
Yeah. That's where you come from.
I know, yeah. He makes lots of things seem possible.
I could see he kind of made you golden.
Yeah.
You would say.
Yeah, he's a hugely supportive person. In fact, he wanted to believe, he gave me money, loaned me money for the bus, partly so that he could tell people that he kind of bought a bus. That's what he told me. He's like, now I can kind of tell people I kind of bought a bus, right? And I was like, whose dad is that excited, to
best shareholder you could ever have,
that's
man.
awesome.
He wants to share this beauty with you,
Yeah.
and I get why. That's really special.
Yeah.
Very special. I've been at shows where you're performing, and I specifically remember him in the audience, and it felt like I was in your living room.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it was so natural, and, and he loves you. He gets it, eh? Yeah.
He's pretty casual with his comments from the crowd too.
Love it. It felt so good to see that interaction and be a part of that. And that for me, that felt very special then. And look at it now.
Well, and part of the inspiration of this comes from we used to have concerts at my dad's old thrift store, the family thrift store. We had concerts there from about 2002 till 2009, and we had a giant festival there one time. We had concerts usually at least once or twice a month, sometimes more.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a similarly weird, unique show experience. It's like the kinds of bands that are excited about playing in a thrift store. We would literally move the furniture around to make a space for the show, and people would come into the store after hours, and my dad would be selling things during the show, including the chairs people were sitting on to watch the show, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it was just felt like everybody who ever came to watch the shows and everybody who came to play them all had the love of the weirdo thrift store in common. And so when the thrift store got shut down by the city, because they wanted to rebuild that part of downtown, I felt like nothing had come up in the time since that had the same sort of bringing people together in that kind of unique, one-of-a-kind context.
How old were you when these thrift store shows were going on?
Well,
Were you part of the scene then?
No, I ran them primarily, me and my dad. So I would usually do the working on the band things, and my dad would help me move the furniture around. Yeah, but I was absolutely. So I was 24 when the store got shut down. So that was 2009.
Okay.
So I'm not very good at math, but I was in my teens, I guess, when the show started. And so and I mean other people would do thrift store shows too, which was awesome. Other local promoters would book concerts out of the thrift store. It was just whenever a thrift store made sense. So that's kind of what I've become now. Is it's when a bus makes sense, which is already saying something that Guelph is already, like, people have already suggested the bus to, like, you know, promoters and stuff, to bands from out of town that are coming and looking for a particular type of environment. I'm already one of the venues that they can consider, right? So
the best venue I've ever played in my life is this place called Wagenhalle on the side of the river in Offenbach, just outside of Frankfurt, and it's a wagon. And the first time we pulled up to that wagon with, you know, odd instruments like harps and drums and the whole bit, and we went in there, and for the first tour we thought, what the fuck, or why are we playing a wagon by the side of the river? And now it's a go-to venue for us. You know, they're making a film about this venue, the Wagon Hall, the Wagon Hall, right? Like it's a hall, right? Only 30 people can fit in it, and they serve liquor and potato chips, but it feels like this. You've done it in my favorite city in the whole world, Guelph, Ontario. I really admire this.
But there's also, because I'm a bus, that's the nice part too, is it is in Guelph, but it can move.
You can move the
so
hall
we can
anywhere.
Bring that, and that was an important part to me too, because I do think that, like, magical things, when they can be shared or can be transferred to other spaces, like, then you can magic at new environments that really need it, right? Which is, like, rather than just building, because Guelph has a lot of amazing things.
It does.
So I wasn't about to build something stationary here in a town that already has a lot of incredible things. Part of it for me was the significance of being able to be this at other places too.
And you're kind of a touring machine, so you've seen that. You've seen you've toured the countries, and you know that bringing this bus and sharing the love of what you've created here is a vital part of the model.
Oh,
right?
It would be awesome. Yeah, for sure.
How are the guts on this thing? Like, how's
They're surprisingly solid.
Okay.
I'm as impractical as I might appear, having bought a golden bus. I'm extremely practical when it comes to the sort of being really careful and systematic about so I haven't traveled with it a lot yet. So I fixed it up first, and then I've been mostly doing local stuff to sort of build an entity here, and then I'll be doing, like, little bits of trips hopefully before the end of this season.
Are you paying attention to the tactics? She first learned how to drive a bus.
Yes.
Then she acquired a bus. We'll talk. Who did you acquire it off of? We'll take a pause there on the steps.
Oh man, no, it's its own really epic story. So it should be its own. I don't know if you're ready for it.
We're gonna sidebar that.
Yeah.
Then she fixed it, painted it, and is now in the process.
Paint it, I found a gold bus.
God damn, found a gold bus. Okay, so that is an epic story of who you'd buy this off of. And then, like, it looks absolutely stunning inside. Now you're building community around it before you move said community to other
I think it's
neighborhoods.
important.
That makes sense. Yeah, I gotcha.
I think, like, I've always enjoyed when something weird can become a form of normal. Like when you overhear in the cafe somebody saying blah blah blah, saw that person play on the golden bus, and nobody even blinks.
Are you hearing that? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, for sure. And neat things
touching.
like people walking by outside who saw it at Hillside or something. Like, it's starting to be around. So when somebody, what usually will happen is somebody will ask.
All right, well, we'll keep her rolling there. See if we keep it up.
Do you have the charger for it?
Yeah, I don't know. No, it doesn't. It's cool. It's cool. If she dies again, she dies. Maybe it's the heat. Pardon me about that. Okay, so.
Oh yeah.
Hillside, you were saying.
Oh yeah. So usually it'll be somebody asking me, like, what I do or something, and then I'll bring up that I'm a bus driver, and then there'll be somebody else within earshot who's like, I saw you at such and such. So that's sort of how it's coming to be. Like, kind of at any given time in any room, there's starting to be somebody who's set foot in here or saw it. So it's doing what I really wanted it to do. I didn't want it to just sit dormant, and I wanted it to have some form of life, and so it's totally coming to be. But I'm not
so happy
going
for
too
you.
over the top too. A couple of shows a month, so that I don't burn out as well. But
yeah, good to make note of that. You've created a venue. And I think I get really inspired when I see creative, I'm gonna say weirdos like yourself, and I embrace it.
Oh yeah.
Doing, like, really, does part of it come from an experience of getting maybe sabotaged by other venues, or just the difficulty of navigating all that? Like, you're essentially bypassing load in, sound check, big head sound person. Yeah. All of that, right? Four people in the crowd, right? You can fit 12 in here, right?
Well,
or pack them in, right?
I mean,
all of that. Two.